Hey, Coach, I
Hey,
know it's
Jet.
still really early in the season, but going into Christmas break, how good do you think this team can eventually be?
Well, I think we got a chance to be good. I thought we shared the ball better tonight. I thought the ball movement was better, but it's easier to have more assists and move the ball better when a team plays zone. And obviously we made some shots against it. But even when we didn't make shots, I thought we got decent looks. But I'm happy with our guys. It's a great way to go into Christmas, and of course it doesn't mean anything now, but certainly it puts us in a position to feel good about ourselves and have some momentum and hopefully have a safe and Christmas and holiday and come back and continue on the same uptick that we're on right now because our team tonight wasn't perfect by any stretch, but we did a lot of things well. I mean, our defense was really good. You can say McNeil got hot in the first half and he's 7-7, but he threw in a couple that were hard. And when our emphasis is, having four guards guard their bigs. So we did much better second half in that regard. But I thought we did a lot of good things tonight. Defensive rebounding was average, but we did compete on the glass.
Did Dave answer or step up to the challenge the way you hoped he would?
Yeah, I actually thought – I told our guys afterwards, one thing about Dave that was easier for him tonight, it's the first time in a long time he's played against a big. Obviously Kentucky had a big SAR that he played against quite a bit. But since Kentucky, he really hadn't had a chance to get rhythm by playing against somebody his own size. And, of course, he had that opportunity tonight, and I thought he played well. I thought, a double-double from him in a game like that, which we didn't throw it inside much after they went zone. I thought that was pretty impressive.
Hey, Bill, I know the zone was part of the reason you guys took so many threes, but you took them against man too. You took almost 60% of your shots from deep. But did you ever imagine years ago you'd have a team shoot that many threes in a game?
We've done it before, believe it or not, CJ.
Yeah.
We won at Texas a couple of years ago when I didn't think Doak was going to play, and I told our team before the game we were going to take 35 threes, and I think we took 36. And Doak ended up playing. So I should have never said that. But the whole thing is that, we've got good shooters, and we've got shooters that can get hot and become great shooters. And you're not going to get that many threes, like you said, against man usually. But we did shoot a lot of threes even when they went man today. But West Virginia didn't pressure today. They didn't pressure. They played more of a contained defense and trying to keep us out of the lane. And I think that also added to maybe us shooting a lot of threes. But that's too many to shoot. 60% is too many. But we talked about it before. I think 40% is a good number for us, though.
What did you think of the ball movement leading to that? I mean, and getting in the paint and kicking it out.
I thought we had some great possessions. I did. I thought we had some great possessions, and we had some great possessions after offensive rebounds. I thought we did a lot of good things offensively, guys. The ball moved. It looked like we were a little bit more comfortable, kind of knowing where our shots were going to come from. And, everybody was aggressive, but nobody was thirsty, if that makes sense. I mean, it was like whoever the open guy is. But, Jalen had space, he was shooting. If CB had space, he was shooting, and so was Ochai. And then Marcus was, obviously the most efficient one of all. But you're not going to make 16 a game. But, if we can be in that 36, 38%, I think that definitely changes the outlook of how teams will have to guard us.
Hey, how important was the work your guys did on the offensive glass? I think Dave, Ochai, and Jalen especially had a lot of offensive boards.
Yeah, I know that we both had 19 offensive rebounds, which Hugs would say that's awful, and I would say that's awful. That number should be probably more like 12 or 13. But if you look at it, and I haven't studied the tape obviously, but the three ball helped us win because we made them. But the three ball also allowed us to offensive rebound because long shots mean long rebounds, and now block out and size don't become a factor. It's, basically being lucky a little bit, and it's also running down loose balls. And we did a great job of running down a ton of long misses. So if we missed 21 threes, which is a ton, I wouldn't be surprised we got 10 of them back. I could be wrong, but I wouldn't be surprised about that. So, that's also something to think about from a strategy standpoint. Do we need to shoot more threes just so we can become a better rebounding team offensively? And then so, that was great. But if you look at our offensive rebounds, very few of them within 3 feet of the basket. You look at their offensive rebounds, they had a lot more within 3 feet of the basket. So we thought 50-50 balls and long rebounds would be a key, and, it turned out to be pretty important for us.
Coach,
hey,
I have two questions.
What was the message at halftime following that banked in three?
I told him, I said, guys, he's got 20. 3 of them doesn't count because that was luck, but he's got 20. And how do we lose him? The last 3 didn't have anything to do with bad play or anything like that. Play perfect defense. He just made a great play. But I think a lot of it was my fault. I think a lot of it was scouting report, in that the emphasis was, he's a good shooter. Don't get me wrong, but, we would probably live with him taking semi-guarded shots more so than throwing the ball into Derek or Oscar. So, we did a good job in that area. We just didn't do a good job, perimeter defense as much as far as getting to him as a shooter. But the second half, we locked in and did an equally good job, I think, in both areas. I wasn't discouraged at halftime at all. I thought we played much better than to be down at 1.
I know there's still a long way to go, but to get these first 2 wins in conference, how does that set you up for the rest of the way? I mean, those are 2 really good wins, aren't they?
Yeah. They're 2 great wins, and it sets us up great. And if we don't beat Texas, this win doesn't mean anything. Obviously, you got to hold serve at home, even though it's obviously not true home court like it has been in years past. But we're the league did us no favors by these first 2 games. But the favor is, if you can get these first 2 games, now you can build some real positive momentum. But the way our league is, there's no off days. Anybody can beat anybody, but it is nice to be 2-0 right now, considering who we played.
Hey, can I ask you too about the crowd? You just mentioned not a real home court thing, but are there times where you feel, the juice come from your play?
Yeah, I thought the crowd was great. I don't know how many was here. I think the stat sheet says 2,500. It actually looked a lot more crowded to me because of the cutouts. Yeah. I thought the cutouts made it look like that there was 5,000 or 6,000 people there. Which I guess there was, if you count the cutouts. But I thought the crowd was great. I thought it was by far the best atmosphere we've had so far this year, and certainly much better than what we had against Creighton. Which would be our other big home game so far. So I was excited with the crowd, and even though it doesn't have this, the crowd didn't like pull us through when it's a tie game, late game or whatever. But if we'd have been in that situation, they could have made a difference. I think it was potentially good enough that could have been the case tonight.
Coach, I have 2 questions. The first being, you emphasize that with the long rebounding, the 3-point shooting. So when you take a performance like this against West Virginia, who is a big team with Oscar Tshiebwe and Derek Culver, what kind of jolt does that put in your team to go forward into the season with its ability to offensive rebound? And then my second question is, Jalen Wilson last year with that ankle injury, now you have him this year, and obviously you've probably talked about him multiple times throughout the season already. What does that do to add to this team's depth level along with the other players you have?
Well, Jalen Wilson, when I look at Jalen, I don't think of depth. I think of, we got our 5 starters and without question, he's one of them. He's been arguably as good a performer as we've had all year. So I think that, he's been terrific, but he's been if what you're asking is, has he surprised you or been a pleasant surprise? The answer would be yes. So it gives us something that we probably didn't bank on that we actually had moving forward. But he's been a very pleasant surprise. But from this point forward, there's no more surprises. We expect him to play at a high level, and he's got to, for us to be good. And the other thing with the rebounding, we didn't against Tech. Tech, we only got 3 or whatever, or 6 or whatever it was. But we've been a good rebounding team this year. You take Gonzaga out of it, we played some good teams, and I think we won the rebound battle, if I'm not mistaken, every game. And so at Tech we won by 5. Today we win by 3. We're not a great offensive rebounding team around the rim because we don't have big guys that are wedging for position. We only have one guy doing that, as opposed to some teams like West Virginia that has 2. But I think our activity with Ochai and Jalen and Christian being good offensive rebounds because they're getting a running start, I think that's a positive. And they'll be better offensive rebounds if we shoot more threes. And I'm not saying that's the strategy that we'll use every game, but in this game is obviously pretty easy to try to do because they played zone.
Hey, Bill, I think you guys have 10 days off now before the next game. I think
yeah, I guess the second, whenever 10, 11 or whatever it is. Yeah.
It's about as long as you guys have had a break in the middle of your season in your whole time. Anything special you can do with having so much off time?
Well, we need to practice. We're going to come back on the 27th, so it's really not 10 days. It's really 6. If you as far as being here, I think we need to come up with some things to get better and put in some stuff. But I also think we need to find a way to occupy our guys' time with some type of social activity or some type of fun. We haven't had much. The only fun things we've done this year is play ball. And our guys, their grade point average, we just got grades. Our overall grade point average this semester was 3.4. So we've had a good, that's overall. We've had a good first semester, but we need to become top golf. We need to be doing something that's fun, that's safe, that we can, socially distance or watch movies together. We got to do something to create some type of social activity because, hey, coming back on the 27th and having no students here till February 1, that's a long time. So we got to come up with something for the guys can do more than just play ball.
Coach, last week you mentioned that CB was beating himself up after the game. Then he comes in tonight and has 22 points and going crazy. What was that impact of the short time over the weekend that played into tonight's game?
Well, I don't quite look at it the same way that some people do. These guys are, even though we care about their feelings and even though they're still young kids, but if you're going to be an athlete, you're going to have performances in which you don't maybe do the things that you should do. And whenever that happens, that shouldn't be something that hinders you. That should be something that motivates you. So that's one thing about Christian that I don't think you're going to have to worry about is him losing. He may lose some confidence shooting the ball a little bit or whatever, but his mindset is he's a pretty confident kid. So if there was going to be somebody that I would probably worry the least about because maybe he's missed shots or something like that, it'd probably be him because I don't think his memory's very long. I don't think he'll remember tomorrow what happened today when it comes to shooting the basketball. All right, guys. Merry Christmas.
Thanks, Coach. Have a good Christmas.